Hello 3D printing friends. Today on the BV3D channel we'll find out what's inside this Alien 3D UFO Mystery Box. Stick around and we'll get into it right after this. I'm Brian and you are watching BV3D. This episode is brought to you in part by these awesome channel members. Hi, welcome back. Hey, if you're new here and you're wanting to learn about 3D printing, 3D modeling, and other 3D printing related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. Okay, so today we're going to open up this Alien 3D UFO Mystery Box and see what's inside. This is the box for August 2022. I've unboxed Alien 3D UFO Mystery Boxes on the channel before, but it's been a while. So if you haven't seen one of the previous videos, let me tell you about the box. The Alien 3D UFO Mystery Box is a monthly subscription box for people with 3D printers. Each box contains 4 20-meter-long filament samples, a project to print and build, and if the project requires electronics or printable parts, those are also included. There's also an accessory that's usually related to 3D printing or to the project, and there's almost always a sticker or two, a bit of candy, and access to coupon codes from various companies. And every month, one subscriber wins the Mothership Prize, a 3D printing related product generally worth a fair bit more than the UFO Mystery Box itself. Sometimes there have been actual 3D printers as prizes, other times there have been higher end extruders and hot ends and other cool things. The UFO Mystery Box has been around for about 4 years and I've been a subscriber since the very first one. It's $37 a month and that includes shipping. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the product. So let's get this one opened up and see what's inside. Here's the first of the filament samples, a thermal color-changing filament from Capricorn. Yes, the cap tubes people. It prints between 195 and 215 degrees Celsius on a bed between 0 and 60 degrees Celsius. It changes from green to yellow at around 33 degrees Celsius, also known as about 41 degrees Fahrenheit. That'll be interesting to print with. Then there's this sample from Paramount 3D. This is Decepticon Purple, so if you're a Transformers fan, this might be right up your alley. Give yourself over to the purple side, I guess. It prints between 195 and 210 degrees Celsius. Next, there's Greengate 3D's recycled PETG in Primer Gray. Greengate takes recycled PETG and makes filament out of it. This prints between 205 and 245 degrees Celsius on a bed between 60 and 90 degrees Celsius. Now, I've gotten samples of the filament in Alien 3D boxes before, and I've bought a few spools of it as well, and I like it. Finally, there's this cobalt blue metallic filament from Ziltech. It's a nice medium to darkish blue. It prints between 195 and 215 degrees Celsius on a bed between 25 and 55 degrees Celsius. Sometimes printing with filament samples can be problematic. They're not on a spool, so you have to find some way to keep them on the printer. Some people just throw the sample up on the spool holder and hope for the best, but I like to use an actual spool. It just makes dealing with the samples so much easier. There are probably 100 different sample spools you can download and print, but my favorite one so far is this one on printables.com. It's called the Ultimate Filament Sample Spool by Lopatka. This one seems to fit the samples really well, and it's just 2 halves that screw together. Anyway, there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. Let's see, what's next in the box? The accessory. This month's accessory is from Sliceworks, and it's one of those filament joiner tools. Cool. This is neat because it doesn't trap the filament inside the tool. You bolt it closed, load the ends of the filament you want to join into either side of the tool, and line those ends up in this opening. Then, with a heat source like a Bic lighter, heat the filament to melt it together and move it back into the white area to cool it off. And then you unbolt the tool and set the filament free. I might make a little video about using one of these. I could see this being really useful with something like Josh Taylor's Recreator project, where you can turn soda bottles into filament using parts from an old Ender 3. This kind of tool would let you join several bottles worth of filament together for longer prints. Next in the box, there are the project parts. This consists of a big heatsink, a fan, a barrel connector, a power module, a Peltier module, an aluminum plate, and a connector to plug into an automobile auxiliary power outlet. Those of us over a certain age know that last thing as the car cigarette lighter plug. Anyway, that Peltier module is an electrical thing that when power is applied, one side gets hot and the other side gets cold. So this project could be a beverage cooler or a beverage heater, I guess, depending on how you connect the module. The instructions and links to the printable parts are on the Alien3D website, and I've got a handy link in the description. It says that the project was originally intended to fit in the cup holder of your car, hence the car connector, but the size of the heatsink made that impractical. Now I've got a lot of old 12-volt power adapters sitting around though, so I won't need to use the car plug. Okay, there's one more thing in the box, and that's this little snack-sized Toblerone bar. So there's a little bit of something to eat when printing the parts for the project. So now you know what was in the box, and that's a pretty good collection of stuff. The filament looks like it'll be interesting to print with, and I want to get started on that project. If you're interested in picking up a subscription to the UFO, check the description for a link to the Alien3D website. Plus, there's a referral code in there as well that'll save you $5 on your first month when you subscribe. And if you do that, I get a $5 credit as well, so we both save money. Well, 3D printing friends, that's about all the time we have for this episode. And now that we're at the end, let's go print something cool. Hey, real quick before you go, I wanted to say thanks for being one of the super awesome people who sticks around all the way to the end, and thanks for all the likes, comments, and shares. And an especially big thanks to those who directly support what I do. You're all wonderful for doing that, and I really appreciate it. If you liked this episode, a thumbs up would be great, and if you'd like to help support the channel, check the description for ways you can do exactly that. And hey, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. It's absolutely free, and it's an excellent way to help keep me making these videos for you. Well, that's it for this one. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time here on the BV3D channel.